Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I'm Sunny Pancholi, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another and future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by these industry leaders. We also hope that by conducting these FaceTime with Leaders interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that are proven success formulas for many. And this is what we aim for with these sessions by making them a gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge-sharing community. We have one such industry personage on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Mr. Divakaran Mana. He is a distinguished and accomplished leader with over 2.5 decades of experience in cloud, IT infrastructure, and IT service domains. He has had the privilege of helping customers of various sizes, spanning various industries across different parts of the world with their digital transformation journey. With a proven track record in a global delivery environment, his leadership acumen shines through his extensive experience working with Fortune 500 international customers. His expertise spans cloud transformation services, complex program management, infrastructure service delivery, and cloud managed services. He has performed various senior leadership roles in IBM and Kyndryl, including being the executive director for cloud-related services for around 4 years. In his current role at Amazon Web Services India Private Limited, he is the head of solution architecture, whereas he oversees multiple solution architect teams, supports diverse industry domains, and drives developer acceleration programs for modernizing applications. His role is marked by a commitment to customer-centric innovation, advising customers on maximizing the value of digital transformation initiatives by building secure, efficient solutions on AWS cloud. Welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, Mr. Divakaran.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to this conversation.
So to begin with, can you elaborate on the key milestones and highlights of your career journey, particularly the transitions between different leadership roles?
Sure. I'm basically, by education, an electrical and electronics engineer. And like many of our engineering graduates during the mid-90s, joined the nascent IT industry. And during the course of my career, I also completed my MBA from the Northeastern University in the US. And I specialized in the high technology and finance while I did the MBA. I spent most of my working life with IBM, where I worked in multiple business units doing variety of roles. I had the opportunity to lead teams that served large customers based in the Americas, Europe, and Asia Pacific region. My leadership roles mainly involved starting up new organizations within IBM or turning around troubled accounts. So during my tenure in IBM, I had the opportunity to also travel across many countries, meeting a wide variety of customers and internal competency teams. During the early part of my leadership journey, as a leader for IT transitions for the Asia Pacific region, I was involved in building a team of technologists in our delivery centers located in the Philippines and China, establishing a new organization, defining the charter, goals, hiring people, and putting in the necessary governance structure, etc., were key aspects of that role. In IBM, I also had the opportunity to lead a large complex troubled account where we were providing a variety of IT services, which was a big insurance company in UK. And the mission that I took on was to turn around that the customer satisfaction ratings by ensuring that we meet all the SLAs and deliver value to the customer. Also, at the same time, to ensure that the account is profitable for us as IBM. And in the other roles that I worked along with 3 other major colleagues to design and scale a new portfolio of cloud integration and managed services. And this involved actually defining from scratch the service catalog, hiring a brand new team, solutioning and selling these services both internally and externally, and ensuring that these services were delivering the highest quality. Further on, I was leading an effort to set up a core competency focused on cloud migration and modernization in India to serve customers across all regions across the globe. This team started with a handful of people, and by the time I left IBM, had grown to a large team of more than 1,000 people who are solutioning and delivering digital transformation programs for a number of customers across the world. And in my current role at AWS, I'm focused on the India domestic market, helping our customers experiment and innovate on cloud and take the best advantage of the flexibility, scalability, and security provided by the cloud. So that's in short, the variety of roles that I've done and the kind of responsibilities that I've handled in my career.
Mr. Divakaran, thank you for the excellent start to this interview. And I must say, your career journey is truly inspiring. So continuing our conversation, our viewers would like to know, could you share a specific leadership challenge you have faced and how have you successfully navigated it?
Sure. There are some very common challenges across the various roles that I've held in my career. And the key challenge here is to make sure I unlearn and learn new things, whether it's technology, process, business aspects, the success criteria, people aspects, how to motivate the people, etc. So there's a wide variety and spectrum of skills that I had to unlearn and learn as I did various roles in IBM. But one of the key, if I had to pick out one, I would probably pick the setting up of the cloud migration and modernization competency as one of the most challenging roles that I've had. And this was mainly because it was a new field in the market. The skill availability, both in the market and internally in the organization, was quite low. But at the same time, the demand for these services were booming. There was a huge demand that was coming in from customers, and there was a need to increase the capacity and the capability of the team in a matter of months. So this brought in the challenges to go hire people both internally and externally quickly, put together the mechanisms where we can deliver consistent quality services to these customers, because the cloud migration and modernization essentially touches the core of the customer's business. We're taking their applications and moving on to a different environment, and that really was touching the core of most of the customers' businesses. And so the people involved in these kind of activities need to be trained in a way that they are able to understand the impact, be able to take the right decisions at the right time, and deliver quality services. And all of this had to be established and run in a matter of months. So one of the things that we did was to assemble a quick team, a very excellent core team who were focusing on the different aspects, one looking at hiring, another looking at building up the necessary artifacts, the run books and stuff like that, and the other taking care of onboarding and enablement, etc., etc. We also had to put in place governance mechanisms, tracking mechanisms to ensure that any blockers were removed quickly and that things progressed smoothly within the short time frame so that we can achieve the target. And in fact, by the end of that, within around 2 quarters, we were able to actually ramp up and get people to around 350 people and get them into production, starting to deliver services for the customers. So these were all the challenges that I faced. And the main aspect of how to deal with these is to ensure we have a right expertise as managing these various functions and integrating that with a very structured and strong governance mechanism.
That sounds incredible. So building on to that, you have been honored with several awards. Which of them do you consider your biggest achievement and why?
Well, I'm grateful that I had the privilege to be recognized for the work that I've done, mostly within the organizations that I've worked with. I also believe that the awards are just a culmination of a lot of hard work and dedication to meet an objective. And I value the learning and the experience in getting there than the final recognition, as that is what helps me grow as an individual. Having said that, I was very proud to have been honored the Best of IBM Award in 2015, along with 2 of my other colleagues, for the work we did in leading the creation and establishment of the new cloud managed services portfolio and making an impact in some of our largest customers. This award was at that time offered to the top 1% of the people in the IBM organization across the world, and hence something that is very, very coveted by one and all in the organization.
Amazing. So now that we have discussed your career journey, your roles and responsibilities, let's dive into the subject of ESG and corporate governance. So here is my question to you, and a very obvious one. How and when did you develop an interest in ESG and corporate governance?
Yeah, that's so as like many of us at my age who have worked in the industry for a couple of decades at least or more, we have reached a point in our careers where we have gained a lot of experience working in some of the best world-class companies, serving some of the biggest customers, well-known customers in the world, handling critical parts of their businesses on their behalf. So all this knowledge is within us. And India as a country, we are at a stage where we are breaking out. Many of our companies are now becoming very aspirational to go global, build locally, sell globally, and all of that stuff. So there is a huge energy in the industry, in the Indian market, in the Indian companies to scale and grow. And that requires ensuring that we put in place the right governance mechanisms and we follow the right environmental sustainability standards, etc., so that we can meet the global standards and capture those markets. And I believed that people like me who have worked in that environment have the knowledge and the background that can contribute to these companies growing and being successful as well. And when I was researching the various avenues in which I can contribute, I figured out that the probably the best way to do that is joining the board of a particular company and being able to advise that company of the best practices, the security and the compliance requirements, and other governance aspects that will help them succeed in their aspirations to become big. And in that context is when I started looking at how can I build my knowledge and formally become qualified in the ESG and the corporate governance areas so that I can in my career start contributing and become members of the various boards.
So, Mr. Divakaran, as an ESG and corporate governance expert, what values do you bring to the table?
Well, so I think there are a few key values that are important, and I believe I bring all of those through how I work in my work environment as well. So some of the key in the realm of ESG and corporate governance, there are a few values that are very important, like number one, ethical decision making, sustainability, diversity, and accountability. So these values promote responsible business practices, long-term growth, and positive impacts on the society and the environment. Transparency is all about encouraging openness. So I believe somebody who's joining a board and is in the role of a ESG expert or a corporate governance expert needs to bring in transparency and be open to in making sure that the reporting practices are clear. There is a clear line of communication of the company's action, impacts, and goals, and so that this can build trust with the different stakeholders that the company engages with. Second, ethical decision making is an important value, and in making sure we uphold moral principles in the business operations, including fair treatment of employees, customers, and communities, and avoiding practices that harm the society or the environment is what this value is all about. Sustainability and bringing that as a key value into how we look at ESG and governance and bringing into your role is all about integrating environmental stewardship and social responsibility into business strategies to ensure that there is long-term viability, reduce the impact on the environment, and create a contribute positively to the society. The other aspect I think I would like to bring, and which I've always carried through in my career, is making sure we bring diversity of thoughts and inclusion within the organization by making sure that culture and the different voices are heard and their voice and used for the decision making as well. And this is not just gender diversity, but diversity of thoughts, diversity of backgrounds, diversity of experiences, etc., so that we can make well-rounded decisions. And finally, accountability, holding oneself and the organization responsible for the actions and decisions, which involves tracking of the performance against, for example, the ESG goals, and being open to feedback and improvement, and acting when we find there's something that is maybe not meeting the standards, quickly acting and making sure it is addressed. All of these come with the value of accountability. And I believe these are the five values that are important. And I bring that to the table as an ESG and corporate governance expert. And this is over and above of all the domain knowledge and experience that I carry from this long career in the industry as well.
So, Mr. Divakaran, as someone working closely with technology, What are some of the most remarkable changes you have seen in your field with changes in technology? That is part A. And part B is, what changes do you expect to see with the advent of IoT, AI, ML, blockchain, Web 3.0, big data, etc.?
Sure, and I think this is the most relevant question. If we can see in these times, we can see that we see a lot of hype around generative AI going on, and there's a lot of technology shift happening. So in my career, since I started working probably around 1995, I've seen so many waves of changes in technology landscape. When I started working in the IT industry, the initial wave was the introduction of personal computers, replacement of mini computers and MIDI computers, etc. And then it shifted into the internet, and then coming the e-commerce boom, and then it shifted to mobile technology and mobile phones and mobile networks and technology booming as well. So these are all different waves that happened previously, and each wave resulted in enabling more and more people to come into the digital world and start taking the benefit of technology. So that is what has happened. And off late, some of the new developments, and I wouldn't call it too new, was cloud, right? The booming of the cloud and the maturing of the cloud technology. What cloud has done is essentially democratize access for people of all types, for companies of all types and sizes, to computing power, to security, for network, to enable them to experiment and innovate quickly at the lower cost and be able to start a business, run a business, and scale a business. And so that's the technology, cloud technology, that has been the latest path-breaking technology that has now become very prevalent. Many companies have now started using it widely. A lot of the mission-critical systems and applications have now started moving onto cloud, take advantage of the flexibility, scalability, security, etc. that it provides. And the recent improvements around, and this has also now opened up this maturing of the cloud technology has now opened up accessibility and this growth of the other technologies which were in place earlier but were not able to grow because of lack of access to computing power, lack of access to proper high speed network, etc. So these are technologies like IoT, for example. Now with the cloud and IoT as a combination, and with a lot of high computing power available on demand through cloud, people are able to connect devices, take information from devices, analyze them proactively, reactively, etc., and take more high quality business decisions, automate a lot of the processes that they could not earlier do, and also get good visibility into what is going on in their environment, whether it is a factory, whether it is some vendor who has multiple retail outlets across the country. All of them are now making use of IoT and the cloud and other technologies like big data to actually take advantage of that. The recent one that is now in the news is AI, ML, and generative AI. And that's, even AI and ML have been in the research world for quite some decades. But now with this availability of cloud and the computing power and the developments, advancements in some of those technologies, it has now become much more widely available to people. For example, ChatGPT, which is a generative AI tool, is now available for everybody on your mobile phone. And it gives you answers to questions, but that's just a very small use case of the possibilities of what generative AI can do. And we have seen examples where it can create documents, it can create videos, it can create music, and it can actually start doing a lot of things that a human can do on its own, provided we are training them properly. There's a huge possibility of what this can achieve for us in terms of automation, in terms of giving higher quality of services, more intelligent services, and even expand the capacity of the brain that we have beyond our brains. So while we sleep, the computers can learn and give us information that helps us make better decisions, help us meet customers' requirements more in a more unique way. Plus, at the same time, help us focus the human brain to focus on more high value creative things that we really built for. So I believe it's an exciting time, as lots of these changes are now coming together and enabling humans to transform the society as a whole and take us to the next level.
All right. So, Mr. Divakaran, this brings us to the last question of the session, and here it is. We are building a community of industry magnates. The move is meant for cross-pollination of knowledge and building a knowledge-sharing community of corporate giants and industry experts. So what are your thoughts about these initiatives taken by Mr. Zishan Patan, Mr. Heval Mehta, and the whole team of World Development Corporation?
Absolutely. The industry, as I said earlier, now needs more than ever, needs expertise. And as we described in the earlier question, with a lot of these changes happening and technology changing as fast as it is changing now, plus becoming the differentiator for the businesses and becoming core and central to how a business is run, I believe awareness and expertise requirement, the availability of expertise and the connect between the expertise and the industry has become even more important at this point. And this requires, and to have that proper connect, this requires enabling experienced professionals in the industries with the knowledge around corporate governance, ESG practices, and then connecting them with the companies so that they can take advantage of this vast expertise available to build stronger boards to drive their business forward in the most effective way, covering all the risks, maximizing value for all stakeholders. And this program initiated by Mr. Zishan, Mr. Heval, and the World Development Corporation team are playing a pivotal role in enabling this at scale and is a big enabler to ensure that our economy grows in a way that meets the objectives of all stakeholders involved in a business. So it's an amazing initiative, and I love that.
Great. It was fantastic conversing with you, and I'm confident that our insights will inspire future leaders. Thank you, Mr. Divakaran, for joining us today. Wish you the best for your future endeavors. Moreover, trust that this initiative by Directors Institute has unquestionably expanded to participants' understanding and enriched their minds.
Sure. Thank you for having me, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Likewise. Have a nice day.
You too. Thanks.